Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to another episode of our 24 Game Day Challenge here on Stevie's beautiful Snetterton Farm map. I hope you all are having a very wonderful, wonderful day. I certainly am today as I'm recording this episode. Today is Saturday of the long 3-day Labor Day, U.S. Labor Day holiday weekend, and let me tell you something. I don't know about you guys, but I have been anxiously sort of awaiting this holiday break since probably the 4th of July break, to be quite honest with you. It has been sort of a hectic 2 months or so with work and with life and with sort of everything else that has been going on. That stretch, that 60-day stretch, 2 month stretch is usually, sort of through the dog days of summer. Of course, I will say that we have been quite lucky here in Colorado in the real world, of course, that it hasn't been that brutal of a summer. I don't know if we've even hit the century mark any this year, or if we have, it's only been like maybe 1 day or 2 days total that I can sort of remember. But I will say that we've certainly been in the upper 90s and mid 90s and such. But we've also had some gaps where we've had some cooler temperatures. I think we had about a week or so, or at least maybe 4 or 5 days, where we had a stretch of temperatures or daytime highs that was only getting into the mid 70s. And let me tell you, when that happens, even whether it's in July or August, it's a welcome thing for sure. So down on the farm, down on our virtual farm, just to kind of give you guys an update here, I've got the forecast pulled up, which I'll take off the screen here momentarily. We do have rain. We're sort of in a rain pattern. That sort of matches what I've seen in the real world as well here in Colorado. So we're in that rain pattern. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Our soil temperature is still at 37 degrees, but we're only in game day. We're only in game day 9 now. I think the last time that we were together for a recorded episode, it was probably in game day number 6, maybe. I did a live stream that I think maybe it was last weekend that I may have technically called episode number 6, and it might have taken place in game day number 6, or it might have been game day number 7. I have been doing some off-camera stuff just to kind of get things moving along, because quite honestly, it's just been a lot of the same old same, plowing, fertilizing, and the like. And so even though I'm kind of starting off showing you guys some fertilization, I'm just kind of doing this for Jack. Billy Bob is actually spraying. He's spraying in our big grass field right over here. Hopefully he is still working. I see him down there in the New Holland sprayer. So that is great. Jack's hopefully doing a great job with that. We're going to go ahead and get, or I'm sorry, Billy Bob's doing a great job spraying. We're going to go ahead and get Jack here working here in the plow, the big plow, plowing field number, I think 12. Yeah, field number 12. Get him doing this, and then we're going to do a few more sort of odds and ends. I think that maybe, just maybe, I don't know. We'll know here momentarily, but I think that, as a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and find out now. I think that maybe, let me go ahead and turn on. Grass was turned on. I think we can do a first cutting on our grass fields, 1, 10, and 32, and of course all the verge and everything is looking like it's ready to harvest as well. So that is, I've been sort of struggling in thinking, okay, well, what am I going to do for some of these episodes? And of course, I am going to do I'm still going to do some fast forwarding and stuff like that. So we're going to well, first of all, we're going to get off the plow there so we don't get run over. But we're going to let Jack do that and plow this field. Hopefully he'll do a good job for us. Now he was supposed to leave the pickup over here by this barn, and hopefully he did. I guess he could have left the pickup a little closer for us, but I think he somehow thinks that we need the exercise, and he's probably right. Um, so Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and go over here. So right now it's just, as far as fields go, it's just more of the same. It's just rinse and repeat that I'm doing off camera. It's just fertilizing the first layer of fertilization, and then of course coming in and plowing. So what we will most likely do, as soon as that soil temperature comes up to a more manageable degree, let me just bring up the seasons menu here where we can see this here. We need 41 degrees for us to begin planting our normal crops of wheat, barley, canola, potatoes, sugar. I don't think we'll do potatoes. We may do sugar beets, and obviously our other items, spelt, oat, sorghum. Those things will always sort of follow the wheat entry at 41 degrees. So once the temperature comes up, and I would expect that that might do that in game day, I don't know, maybe 12 or so. Keep in mind that we are playing 24 season game days. We're just going to drive down here and make sure that Billy Bob is still doing his job and he's not sitting around reading a comic book here. So looks like, yeah, he's working. All right, so he is probably on his pass around the field. I think he said he was going to do 2 passes there. All right, so let's go back. And again, I think tomorrow, I think in the next episode, we're going to do some mowing. I think we're gonna go ahead and take probably start cutting grass over here in this. Well, no, that's our cow pasture. No, that's a grass pasture, field number 10. I think we're going to go ahead and mow that. May try to get some, we'll probably split it, probably get grass off one field and hay, maybe do hay off the other. And so that'll kind of give us an idea as to how much we can get off those fields. While I would hate to basically waste the effort that we have put in, obviously, and I'll just bring up our map here, in planting field 11 and field 17 both as grass fields. If the yield were to be abundantly high on fields number 10 and 1, which again, they're relatively small fields, so I don't know if we could expect that or not, but I suppose if they were abundantly high, I mean like really like stupid high, then I suppose we could reconsider and go ahead and convert one of those grass fields into another type, to another crop type. I don't know. I'm just wanting to. I want to go ahead and increase our cattle herd. We've got an opportunity to buy more dairy cows, and I would like to maybe take advantage of that. So obviously we're going to need the grass if that is the case. So where did I leave the yellow Challenger? Did I leave it? I left it connected to the tipper, which is exactly what I need. So I've made a couple of equipment changes. One I will show you momentarily whenever we get down to, we've been buying straw like crazy as well, by the way. We've been taking it from all the other local farmers, have been buying their straw inventory so that we can keep some employees working down at the compost facilities. And so we've been very appreciative for our local farm community to come in and bring us straw. We've been buying it, been paying a pretty good price for it, and that's been making them quite happy. So we'll go ahead and get this fired up here, and I will tell you about one of the equipment changes that we did make. So I had started out with 2 of the AR type trucks. I still have both AR trucks, but basically one of the trucks, I will show you. Let's get out of cab here. Is still right over there parked. I don't think you can see it. Yeah, there you can see it. I also had 2 of those AR. Solid fertilizer spreaders. We've sold one of those because we took the other AR truck and we moved it down, which you'll see here in just a moment. We moved it down to the compost facility, and we purchased. We basically traded in. We're not going to sell our straw to Jeeb's Mill, but we basically traded in the fertilizer, the solid fertilizer spreader, for basically a tipper component for the AR truck. So what that will allow us to do is it will allow us to just leave the AR truck down at the compost facility, and that way we don't have to worry about dragging a tractor and a tipper obviously we're hauling straw down there, so that's the only way we can get our straw down for right now, because we are buying it. We are buying our straw at the main farm, so we're having the local farmers come there to sell their straw, just because, you know, usually one of the boys is always around there. We don't have the employees that I employ down at the compost facility. I really don't want them paying people for straw and stuff like that. They may not understand what they're buying, and may not know to check it for quality and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, Billy Bob and Jack know how to do all of that, and so we are having that brought in. But anyway, we've got the AR truck, so that leaving the AR truck down at the compost facility is going to more or less help us basically move manure and compost around at the facility, as well as carrying compost down to the compost bagging location, which we've already got fired up, and we've been making a little bit of money off of that. So good stuff, you know, just trying to keep some of these industries going that we've got. You know, obviously we haven't started cutting wood. I am just kind of trying to put a little bit of space, or a little bit of a gap between all the wood cutting that we did. Oh, I didn't realize that thing had a blade that was turning. Man, I tell you what, folks, you better be glad that there's a wire mesh over there, because if you were to fall into that bad boy, that would basically leave a mark. That's gonna hurt. So we're gonna go ahead and just back in here, and we're gonna unload this straw. And I tell you what, we'll just we'll turn off the engine, and the hydraulics will do what it's supposed to do. Obviously it wouldn't actually work, I don't think, in real life. But anyway, we're going to go over here to our AR truck and get it powered up here, and we need to move just a little bit of material. So yeah, so I thought it would be just easy peasy lemon squeezy to just leave this down here, and that way we're not it makes it a little bit easier in backing up. Of course, I will probably still struggle to do that, especially talking at the same time, but we do need to put manure in 3 of our greenhouses. And so we're getting our manure right here from our manure separating facility, although I think the name is a little bit misleading. I think I may have said that the last time that we were together, is that really we're not separating, we're actually combining. So it's more of a combine facility in a way, yeah, it's not really separating it, because we're bringing down, looks like we ran out of slurry. I'll do that off camera, but we've put in liquid slurry, and then we put in straw, and then that creates manure, which obviously is you know, pretty, that's pretty recognizable. I mean, as far as real life stuff goes, I mean, a lot of what makes up slurry, from what I understand, obviously is manure and other, you know, the liquid stuff that also comes out of a cow. Urine, I suppose, would be the technical term for that. And then, of course, as they wash and clean up, we're just going to put a little bit of these in this, and put some more in this other one, and just try to get all 3 growing. We need to get our pumpkins going, because obviously it's going to be a big thing around Halloween. But yeah, so from what I understand, you know, basically it's just the slurry, the liquid manure, is more of kind of the wash off when they're washing out the dairy pens and all that kind of stuff, which you know, for my UK friends that tend to watch my streams or my videos, my wife and I actually regularly watch a program on BBC, and they'll all know what this is. It's called Country File, and it's a really incredible program. I really enjoy it quite a bit, and of course I understand that this was maybe a month ago in an episode of Country File that the UK itself has quite a problem with slurry, and what it's doing to the to the streams and rivers and creeks and stuff like that that flow in and around some of these farming communities. Oops. Some of these triggers are pretty tight. All right, well, we may not, that may be just a little bug there, Stevie. Not sure if you're gonna, I'll try one more thing. I'll come at it from the side here and see if this maybe works a little better. There we go. All right, well, just have to remember to hit this one kind of from the side. So there we go. All right, well, let's just, while we're down here and while we're kind of just sort of in this stage, and again, I'm not gonna, I promise I won't make every video be about the compost plant and stuff like that. It's just so that, you know, we needed to do this, and I wanted to show you the equipment change that I made, and that way you just sort of understand that what's going on. I'll understand what's going on, and together we'll just figure all this stuff out. So maybe we need some manure back there in our trees, but I'll sort that out off camera. I'll try to avoid doing any additional work down here at the compost facility for at least another few episodes. That way we're breaking things up. So about halfway through this episode, I suppose, and we'll get in cab here and head on over to our compost bagging facility, if I can remember how to get there. Not real sure what we were talking about before I got sort of sidetracked with the not being able to tip the manure in that last point there. But in any event, having a lot of fun, enjoying this map. I will admit, and I posted, Farmer Klein asked the question just yesterday, I think, actually Friday, and of course this is that was September 1st. So you guys are it's gonna be a few days before you see this episode, just simply because I took a little bit of time off from playing games and recording and making episodes and stuff like that. And so in any way, he posted a question over on PCSG about whether or not we were finding, those of us that were, you know, playing the challenge, we're finding it to be enjoyable, we're finding it to be a challenge. I forget exactly the exact way he phrased the question. Let's see, I think, did we just miss our turn there? We sure did. Okay, we'll drive up here and turn around. Let me get back on the correct side of the highway. Oh, I know what I was talking about. I was talking about country files. So let me just finish this thought. So Farmer Klein asked the question if we were finding it to be a challenge, if we were having fun, and all that kind of stuff. And I responded honestly, and just said that I was struggling just a little bit, just simply because we were coming in, or I had finished game day 8 off camera, and basically had the same cold soil temperature and everything. And so Farmer Klein really dived into the whole seasons mod thing, and really sort of understood it from a more, I think, more of an analytical perspective than I've tried to kind of look at it from that perspective. And so he's sort of reminded us, or me, that when we've been used to playing 3 game days, which is kind of how I got introduced with the seasons mod initially, and then moved to 6 game days, and such, that everything, when you're playing at 24 game days, there's some disadvantages, especially when you are used to playing at 3 game days per season or 6 game days per season. And let me just throw out there and say that probably playing at 3 game day seasons is not really worth it from the perspective of, we'll have to buy him a new bumper, is not really worth it from the perspective of how everything is controlled as far as crop growth and stuff like that. You're probably not getting the full effect, the full advantages and everything of the seasons mod, playing it at 3 game days per season. And I understand that some people just don't have a whole lot of time. You may only have an hour, maybe 2 hours a week to enjoy gaming, to enjoy farm sim. And so playing at a very long base seasons, like 24 game day seasons, I mean, if you only have an hour or two a week to play, it would take quite a long time for you to complete a calendar year. But I think at 3 game day seasons, I think it's just not it just doesn't represent what the seasons mod truly well and truly does. I think 6 game day seasons is probably your best opportunity, even if you're quite busy, and then maybe even 9 is maybe even a sweeter a sweeter spot as far as the number of game days. But anyway, I was honest and I answered, the question, or I answered or replied to the forum post and said that I was, struggling just a little bit, just because I try to I try to create frequent enough content so that you guys, have stuff to watch and can enjoy my videos and whatnot. And if I'm playing the game, and I don't mind doing off-camera work at all, I really don't. But if I'm down, if I'm playing the game and I'm not, and if it's taking me such a long time to do off-camera work and stuff like that, then, I don't have I can't create as much content for you. And so that's one thing that I have been sort of struggling, is trying to find the first gear, the forward gear, find that fine line between what I think you guys will want to see, try to keep it from becoming a bit too mundane, repetitious, all those kind of things, and also myself have fun at the same time. So I'm going to do some off-camera work. I don't think I will. The interesting thing with live streaming is I have found that because the way I work with my videos and my gameplay is, obviously my queue got a bit short because I took some time off right after the hurricane and everything. My mind has been sort of all over the place, worrying about my family and worrying about some of my childhood friends and stuff. That I just had to kind of step away from things, and I had to kind of focus on the things that well and truly mattered and all that kind of stuff. Well, I feel much better. My friends are all safe, my family's all safe, and everything is good. And hopefully Irma is going to kind of go away. Irma is another Atlantic hurricane that is picking up a lot of momentum, picking up a lot of steam, and heading towards Florida. So I hope it doesn't hit Florida at all, but I certainly hope it doesn't pull into the Gulf Coast, because I don't think those poor people can handle any more storms and any more rain. But anyway, um, I think I will just, we'll just throw some stuff out there, and I'll do some off-camera work to just kind of move things along. And pretty soon, I would suspect within the next few game days or so, maybe around 12 or 13, something like that, we should be able to start planting some other crops. So we'll be cultivating our fields just to break up the plowed soil and stuff like that, to make it a little bit easier for our seeders, and then of course go ahead and start seeding. So it's starting to get a little bit dark here on the farm, so we're gonna go ahead and park this, and then we need to essentially go down and get get Billy Bob, pick him up, and hopefully Jack is also done with his stuff that he's doing, and then we'll get back. But I was talking about Countryfile earlier, and by the way, let me give you the word of the day. The word of the day today is Texas. I am dedicating this episode to the wonderful people, my home state of Texas. And where the heck did I park the pickup truck? Up here at home. Dedicate this episode to the great state of Texas. Let's grab our eggs, because this egg basket looks full. So that's the code word of the day, is Texas. And don't fret, folks. I will continue to We're going to get in from the wrong side of the truck just because we can. But I will keep the code words coming, keep the episodes with code words coming, and all that stuff. So anyway, before I talk about country file, so the code word of the day is Texas. Before I talk about country file, I will just finish my thought on the whole live stream thing. I did the live stream, I think, last weekend. And to be quite honest, I think that kind of threw me off because I knew that I hadn't yet even did the post-production stuff on a few episodes that I had recorded previous to that live stream. And so it just kind of, and then the folks that are watching the live stream are seeing stuff that they haven't yet seen if they're following the stuff on the recorded gameplay. And well, you get the idea. So it's just kind of a crazy thing. I am looking at another map. I will get to my country file comment here in just a minute. I'm looking at another map, but I'm having some problems with it and working with the mod author about that. And if we can get the issues with that map sort of sorted out, then it's possible that I might consider doing this live stream only for a while, my Snetterton Farm play. And of course you could still watch the recorded archives, but then I don't have to worry about the episodes getting sort of out of sync with things. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll just have to see how it goes. We'll stop the driver, get rid of that. Let's just check and see if he did everything he was supposed to do. Oh, he did. Well, he missed a few spots, but that's okay. I'm not going to... one thing that I did decide was I wasn't going to... if these guys... Oops, wrong thing. If these guys sort of make mistakes with their... Well, unless they, like, completely leave half the field unplowed. But these little spots that they miss, I'm not going to worry about coming in and taking care of those because that's just kind of like real life stuff. That's just stuff that happens. You know, maybe Billy Bob is trying to answer a text message from me or something, and he swerves just a little bit or whatever and misses a 5-foot spot or something like that. As long as it's not like a 50-foot spot, I think I'm going to be okay with that. So we'll park that there and get out, and then I'm going to go over here. So country file. I'm sorry, folks. You know me. I get my mind gets on something, and I see a squirrel, and all of a sudden I'm chasing a squirrel instead of doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But country file is a really wonderful program that's on the BBC, and I know that my good friend Reefy1952, Mike, he may watch it, he may not. I don't know. But anyway, it's been a long-running program, and it focuses on, you know, different areas within the UK. They'll be in Wales, they'll be in Scotland. I think they even sometimes go to like Ireland and stuff like that sometimes. I am going to go ahead and get this strip here. So anyway, they were talking, this was a couple of weeks ago, they were talking about the concerns about slurry because basically the milk in the UK has just been phenomenally popular. And so sort of as a result of the increase in dairy populations in the UK, so has there been an increase in the amount of slurry that has been essentially produced, and that the slurry obviously causes some runoff into the streams and rivers and other bodies of water within the UK. The UK obviously is a very, in certain portions of the UK, is a very wet country, very wet region. Rains a lot, obviously. If you've been to England and or the UK and you stayed there for any length of time and it did not rain at all, then consider yourself actually quite lucky. I've had the opportunity to visit the UK many times. I think the last time that my wife and I counted up the number of times that oops, there's a big strip that got missed. I think the last time that my wife and I counted up the number of times that I had been to England myself, and of course I met her there, so obviously she lived there, so that doesn't necessarily count. I think it was around a dozen times or something that I had been there, been to England, because again, through work and obviously dating her for a period of time before she relocated. So anyway, it's a wet place, and obviously with the increase in the dairy production and dairy needs and everything, because folks in the UK enjoy their milk, the slurry problem has been something that has been a little bit of an issue, and for whatever reason I can't drive straight. So this the slurry, the liquid manure and everything has caused the rivers and streams and stuff like that to somewhat become a bit polluted, and increased levels of nitrogen and all of the things that of course we benefit from. And of course it's not from the dairy itself, it's basically the farmers that are slurrying their fields. They're spreading the liquid manure. It rains and it causes this stuff to run off. And so anyway, it's a problem that I guess they're going to have to deal with and face, but it was just sort of a subject on the program, one episode, and again, I don't think you can watch it unless we have a way of watching the BBC through a VPN application that we pay for per month for access to be able to stream that. So that's kind of how we do that. So anyway, folks, it's coming up on 8:30, and I think Ma was going to make some chicken fried steak for us tonight. And if you've never had chicken fried steak, well, you've not lived. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to more or less wrap this episode up and say thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you tuning in and watching my channel. I think tomorrow, for what would be game day number 10, which will probably be episode number 8, is I will do some mowing. I think we will start mowing, and we'll probably turn one of the fields into hay and one of the fields into grass, and just that way we've got some early spring grass and hay that we can use here on the farm and stuff. So in the meantime, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I appreciate you all for hanging in there with my sort of odd release schedule. I'll try to get back to something that makes a little bit more sense for everyone, including myself. And I just appreciate you guys tuning in each and every time and being a part of the first 1,000, by the way. Yes, I think it was Thursday we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark for my YouTube channel, which was awesome stuff. And I appreciate each and every one of you. You know, many of you were in there for the first 100, and you've hung in there, and you guys are some of my most frequent viewers, I suppose. You're the ones that are most active in the chat and over on Discord, and both leaving comments and stuff to the videos, and I really and truly appreciate that. I appreciate all of the help that you guys have given, and of course your friendship. And yeah, so anyway, take good care of yourselves and each other, and still be keeping the good folks of Texas and Louisiana, basically the Gulf Coast region. Please continue to keep those good folks in your thoughts and prayers, because they're going to need that for quite a long time. This is nowhere near obviously being over, and so I just appreciate you guys for all the kind words that you've given me. So many of you reached out to me via email and asking me about my family and stuff like that, and that truly matters and means so much to me, so I appreciate it. All right, folks, I'm rambling. Take good care of yourselves and each other. I think I've already said that. And come back again very soon to the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. And if you're watching this video, by the way, and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I appreciate that. And hit that like button. Take good care of yourself and come back again very soon. Bye-bye now.